Hello, Mike here, November 13th, 2024. What I'm sharing with you is some close-up photos of my lower extremities there, my legs, basically from where they attach up into your torso, hip area, pelvic area, down to the toes. And you can see that I don't have all that much hair. And very, very little. You got a few growing back there, right, that I had trimmed at some point with a razor. I think a lot of women would be jealous of my legs in respect that I have less hair than they do, and shaving is much easier, believe me, because I only have a little bit here and there, as you can see. What is very interesting is that in January of 2017, January 30th, I believe, 2017, I had an appointment with a neurologist, okay? And, my toes were missing hair, and there was still a little bit of hair, and he said, well, that looks good. He says, you still have some hair on your toes. That's a good sign. And first appointment, he gave me a assessment, I guess, before doing any testing or anything, right out of the gate, based on my complaint of having burning, basically from the feet, the feet up the legs, up the sides of the legs especially. So, he gave me a diagnosis of neuropathy caused by HIV. How's that? Okay. Then gave me a medication prescription for Lamotrigine. I'm going to have to write that out for you. And of course, when I picked it up and it said the first symptom was you can die from this medication. Of course, I looked it up and it was a psych med, and it had a little blurb in a little place about being used as off-sheet use for pain or whatever. But the whole thing, it was used for all kinds of psychiatric conditions, okay? So, I go, of course, and I go get the neurological testing, where they hook you up to the machines and the whole thing. And it came back with no signs of neuropathy in the lower extremities, meaning the legs, none, zero. Okay, so that canceled out his assessment, appointment 1 for, neuropathy caused by HIV. And the testing indicated it was an abnormal study, okay, that they had done, and indicating sensory and motor abnormal study. Now you think about that. Your sensory organ is your fascial organ, your fascial network. Okay, really is your sensory organ. And then, of course, it is related to the motor. And I know because when my condition's been extremely high and out of control, because I had no idea, and every day I was assaulting myself basically by sitting and working on an investigation, which was the worst thing I could have been doing. My motor would start going completely wild. I was having motor problems for sure. So it's connected in somehow with that. Now, the interesting thing is when the testing was done in February, that is my least symptomatic month. February, March in that area, the very end of January. There's about a 2-month period. So I hope you've enjoyed these pictures, these photographs. It's quite clear that there's something going on that causes someone to lose 90% or more of their hair on their legs, and it's a trip. Sometimes I put my hand on my thigh and I'm like, I expect to be like grabbing somebody else's thigh, and I'm like, it doesn't feel like a guy's thigh. Let me tell you. Thanks for watching.